Have you ever done something that made no sense, even to you? Maybe you snapped at someone you love for no reason, or you keep making the same mistake over and over, promising yourself each time that this will be the last time. What if I told you that these confusing behaviors are actually your mind's secret service, working tirelessly behind the scenes to protect you? Today, we're rediving deep into the world of psychological defense mechanisms, the unconscious strategies your ego uses to shield you from painful truths. These aren't signs of weakness, they're survival tools. But when they operate in the dark, they can turn your life into a prison of your own making. So why do we even have these defenses? Imagine your conscious mind, your ego, is like a single person trying to manage a flood. It simply can't handle all the overwhelming truths, anxieties, and painful emotions of life all at once. Defense mechanisms are the automatic sandbags your psyche throws down to stop the floodwaters of anxiety, shame, and guilt from completely overwhelming you. They're a brilliant, instantaneous survival strategy. The problem arises when these unconscious automatic defenses become your default way of dealing with everything. When they're overused, they don't just manage reality, they distort it, damaging your relationships and preventing you from ever truly growing. Let's start with the big one, denial. This is the classic, there is no problem here. It's the flat-out refusal to accept a reality that's too painful to face. When a doctor gives a devastating diagnosis, the first reaction is often, no, that can't be right. That denial is a buffer. It gives the mind a moment to catch its breath before the full weight of the news crashes down. It's a necessary shock absorber. But what happens when denial becomes a lifestyle? It looks like someone deep in addiction insisting they can quit anytime they want, or someone in a toxic relationship ignoring giant red flags and pretending everything is fine. Denial protects you from the immediate pain of the truth, but it also chains you to the very problem you refuse to see, preventing you from ever making a necessary change. Next up is projection, and if you've been with us since our episode on the shadow self, you'll recognize this one. Projection is when you take your own unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or traits and attribute them to someone else. It's the classic, I'm not angry, you're the one who's always angry. Or maybe you're secretly insecure about your intelligence. So you go around accusing everyone else of being arrogant or a know-it-all. Your ego can't stand to look at its own dark side. So it sets up a movie projector in your head and plays your own negative traits onto the screen of other people. This protects your self-image, but it's devastating for relationships. It creates endless conflict and prevents you from ever taking ownership of your own stuff, blocking any path to self-awareness. Then we have displacement. This is when you feel a powerful emotion, but can't express it toward the actual source, so you redirect it onto a safer, less threatening target. Let's say your boss humiliates you in a meeting. You can't yell at your boss, you'd get fired, so you hold it all in, drive home fuming, and the second you walk in the door, you explode at your partner or your kids over something tiny, like shoes left on the floor. The anger was real, but the target was wrong. Your mind protected you from the immediate consequences of confronting your boss, but it did so at the expense of an innocent person you care about. Over time, this pattern corrodes trust and creates a home environment filled with tension and fear. Now let's talk about a very clever defense, rationalization. This is the art of creating logical, plausible-sounding excuses for irrational or unacceptable behavior. It's not just lying. It's about convincing yourself that what you did was perfectly justified. I had to buy that expensive gadget because it will make me so much more productive. Or a much heavier one. I cheated on my partner, but it's because they weren't meeting my emotional needs. Rationalization is a powerful balm for guilt and shame. It allows you to maintain your self-image as a good, logical person while doing things that go against your values. The harm? It completely sidesteps accountability. If you always have a good reason for your bad behavior, you never have to face the real reason, and you never have to do the hard work of changing. One of the deepest and most mysterious defenses is repression. This isn't just ignoring something. It's when your mind actively pushes painful, traumatic memories, thoughts, or feelings so far down into your unconscious that you genuinely don't remember them. It's the mind's emergency eject button for experiences that are too overwhelming to process. A child who experiences severe trauma might have no conscious memory of the event as an adult. This defense literally saves your sanity in the moment. However, repressed material doesn't just disappear. It lives in the shadows of your psyche, influencing your behavior from below. It can manifest as unexplained anxiety, phobias, hair-triggered emotional reactions, or physical symptoms. You're being controlled by a ghost you don't even know is there. Next, there's regression. Ever seen a grown adult throw what looks like a toddler's tantrum? That's regression. When faced with overwhelming stress, a person might revert to an earlier, more childlike state of behavior. They might become whiny, dependent, or utterly helpless, trying to get someone else to solve their problems for them. The unconscious logic is simple. When I was a child, someone else took care of me. If I act like a child now, maybe that will happen again. It's a retreat to a simpler, safer time. But as an adult, this behavior is incredibly damaging. It cripples your ability to function independently and puts an immense strain on your relationships, forcing partners or friends into a parental role they never signed up for. Finally, let's look at intellectualization. This is the defense of choice for the highly analytical. It involves removing all emotion from a distressing situation and discussing it in a cold, clinical, purely abstract way. Someone might discuss the details of a painful breakup by analyzing attachment theories and communication patterns, never once saying, "I'm heartbroken." They talk about the pain without ever feeling the pain. This protects them from being overwhelmed by raw, messy emotions. The harm is that it disconnects you from your own authentic human experience. Life is meant to be felt, not just analyzed. By staying in your head, you miss the emotional information that can lead to healing and deeper connection with yourself and others. So hearing all this, you might think defense mechanisms are the enemy, but they aren't. They are simply information. They are signposts pointing directly to your deepest wounds and fears. The real transformation begins when you learn to move from unconscious defense to conscious awareness. The next time you catch yourself blaming someone else, making an excuse, or overanalyzing a feeling, pause. Instead of judging yourself, get curious. Ask the powerful question, what painful truth am I trying to protect myself from right now? That single question starts to bring the unconscious into the light. It transforms an automatic reflexive defense into a conscious choice. You begin to see the machine at work. Your defenses kept you safe when you were vulnerable and needed them. They were brilliant adaptations. But what protected you as a child may imprison you as an adult. The goal isn't to violently tear down all your defenses and leave yourself exposed. That would be overwhelming. The goal is to make them conscious, to thank them for their service, and to let them know that you, the adult, are in charge now. It's about turning an automatic reaction into a deliberate choice, so you can decide when you need a shield and when you're safe enough to put it down and truly connect with your life. You get to choose when to use them rather than being controlled by them. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that helps you understand your own mind. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which defense mechanism do you notice showing up in your own life? Let's talk about it. See you next time.